Hi everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As always, Rich is doing another video on XRP today. I hope everyone is having a great day wherever they are in the world. We're going to talk about XRP and I have to start with the fundamentals of the cryptocurrency. If millennials and Gen Z hold on to it until 2050, its price could reach between $100 and $5,000. What is the source of these absurd articles? XRP will already be worth $10,000 by 2030. By that time, tokenization will be a huge market. By then, XRP will be a digital currency used by central banks. By then, it will be transporting stable coins globally. It will probably reach $5,000 by 2028, which is sooner than most people anticipate. However, I believe that the reason they create these articles and include these 2050 timelines is because they are aware that the majority of XRP holders will sell if they are unsure of what they are holding. Well, I don't want to wait until 2050 for XRP to reach $100 or even $5,000, they will say. I would like it to occur much sooner. The good news is that it will occur considerably sooner. Furthermore, these articles are just absurd. In order to outpace inflation, a fourth industrial revolution must occur. Check out Rebecca Walser's music here. The firms, banks, real estate, and every other industry in the world, and especially in America, have become accustomed to extremely low-cost credit pool. Consequently, asset bubbles have been produced. Probably the biggest is real estate. We are on the verge of a debt trap. And this is kind of the intriguing aspect of the cryptocurrency market, since the majority of genuine economists are relying on the new technological frontier to exceed the growth in interest. To put it another way, interest is increasing so quickly that something significant, like the fourth industrial revolution, must occur in order to accelerate it even further. We risk slipping into an unrecoverable debt spiral if we don't. Right now, it's only a mathematical certainty. The good news is that the fourth industrial revolution has already begun. In the background, the fifth industrial revolution is taking place. AI's ascent, as we speak. Blockchain is being incorporated into the banking system. Additionally, we have the strongest inflation hedge. They all now realize that inflation will keep rising and that we are in a death spiral due to the dollar's declining value. Consequently, they will ultimately reset the system as their solution. Going forward, we will transition from the current system to the new digital one in which the currency is backed by gold or other assets. However, this has been happening for a while. We're all invested in the fourth industrial revolution. Those who invested in XRP were also making an investment in the fifth industrial revolution. Here's how Ford stock is bridging a $2.55 trillion trade finance gap by converting idle warehouse inventory into usable collateral using the XRP ledger's multifunctional token standard. Therefore, they think there is a better way at Ford stock. In order to make warehouse receipts programmable financial assets that can be pledged as security for short-term loans, they are constructing the necessary infrastructure, but tokenization isn't enough for them to accomplish that. In addition to data, they require a token format that can convey reasoning from the actual world. This is where the multi-purpose token standard of the XRP ledger is useful. Thus, you can see how XRP and the XRP ledger can be used in digital commerce. Though XRP will also have a role, I continue to believe that XDC will become the dominant force in digital commerce. As trade moves toward digitalization, XRP and XDC will coexist side by side. Only a question of time will pass. As we get from narrative to Bitcoin speculation to the underlying XRP utility, money will start to enter the market. Right now, everything is moving away from Bitcoin. Check out Mike Novogratz's music here. Unrealistic in the eyes of God due in part to the fact that many of these treasury companies are taking their chances in other coins. Pay attention to the coins that are currently undergoing consolidation. Correct. Thus, the Ethereum Corporation, founded by Tom Lee, has arrived. Well, just yesterday we closed $1.65 billion in Ford Industries, a company that is part of the Solana ecosystem, and about which I love to talk. Well, that's energizing the cryptocurrency market. It's bringing capital into the cryptocurrency market. And I believe that while these other ecosystems are having their moment, Bitcoin is kind of veering off course. As the Fed begins the reducing cycle, I believe that Bitcoin will likely see another significant spike towards the end of the year. Additionally, this type of cryptocurrency concept is gaining traction. Well, it's noteworthy that Paul Atkins, the chair of the SBC, stated approximately 2 weeks ago that he wanted all markets to move in unison, and that is such a drastic change from our previous situation. Additionally, it's a Paul Atkins statement was significant. However, you could already see the mainstream media's narrative moving away from Bitcoin. They like to push Solana all the time now. They dislike discussing XRP. Do you ever notice that? XRP, meanwhile, is designed to provide on-demand liquidity. The banks are currently dealing with a severe liquidity crunch. No one ever wants to discuss the one coin designed to cure it. However, the shift is already being covered by the news media. Before long, they will be forced to discuss XRP. After 13 years, a dormant Bitcoin whale comes to life and transfers $15.6 million in Bitcoin. These wallets that have lain dormant are beginning to awaken. What's happening is that people are starting to notice the change. The first Bitcoin owners from years ago are beginning to see that Bitcoin is simply not the way of the future. They all see that the conversation is moving away from Bitcoin. They therefore wish to profit as soon as possible. More older wallets will be sold off during this cycle, particularly when Bitcoin makes its last upward climb. And I believe he is correct. Bitcoin is probably going to last till the year is over. The peak for Bitcoin is probably going to occur in November or December. Is it going to hit $200,000? Probably not. The money is already moving away from it at the same time that it isn't receiving the push-up that it typically does. For this reason, I predict that it will be between 130 and 150k. After that, everything will collapse and altcoins will be the topic of conversation. Because I believe that utility will increase between now and 2028, the Bitcoin narrative will probably disappear. The 2028 cycle is not likely to occur as anticipated, in my opinion. Documents that the Gensler SEC was obligated to produce and preserve were destroyed. The SEC's own Inspector General has finally provided us with evidence. To make sure that this egregious breach of public trust never occurs again, we urge the federal court to address it today. Gary won't face any charges for this, you know. The majority of crypto enthusiasts, I'm sure, would be thrilled to see Gary released from prison for this. In Washington, however, they all get away with it. This will just be destroyed, and it will no longer exist. Gary was probably told to delete all of those texts by Maxine Waters and that bunch of lawmakers. Sam Bankman-Fried must have sent those texts with really damaging information. Although it won't happen tomorrow or anytime near, XRP will eventually reach $1,000. According to Pantoja, many would claim that if they were to predict when XRP will hit $1,000, they would believe it would happen in the upcoming 5 years. According to him, the timetable places XRP some years behind. He is considering a time frame of 8 to 13 years, not with the rate of acceleration. The internet is lagging behind blockchain and cryptocurrency. Everyone usually tries to get a timeline for cryptocurrency by looking back at internet adoption, but it never works. Crypto popularity is surpassing that of the internet. You can already see it taking place. The absence of laws is the only thing that is truly preventing cryptocurrency from progressing farther. That's all. Once those rules are established and we have clarity, going future, everything will happen extremely quickly. By the end of 2025, the regulations should be in place. They would now take effect 90 days later, thus 2026 would be the year. If we just gained understanding during this cycle, then why in the world is XRP experiencing these significant setbacks? All of the institutions are given the all clear. XRP will be discussed by banks. Since their rivals are already planning to enter the XRP market, they won't have any other option. They will have competition that goes beyond Swift. Everything will change more quickly.